NCAA basketball totals for Wednesday, January 4th. This is the segment where we look at some college basketball games and we look at the totals set by odds makers and we try to beat that total, either going over or under what they have set. We got 3 games on the card today. Our NBA segment, we're going to do something a little bit different. Maybe from here on out, we're going to see how it goes. We're going to do that segment live a few hours before the first NBA games of the day. So be sure to check that out on our Facebook page. Again, we'll be doing that live. So that should be a lot of fun. I mentioned that before. We did one just the other day, and we're going to try and do that again for the NBA. So be on the lookout for that. Again, same concept for the NBA segment where we look at the total set by odds makers and try to beat it either over or under. We have a slight winning record in both categories. Not really a lot where we're seeing a lot of profit or any profit really, to say that to say that correctly. But we are doing better than having a losing record. I'll just say that. We could definitely be doing better. But we have some good assessments. We got some good statistics. We're going to go ahead and start diving into those. And don't forget to check out Sportsbook Review, SBR, for all the odds, numbers, sign-up bonuses, all that good stuff at our website. So again, these videos are free, and be sure to check out Sportsbook Review. All right, here we go. Let's break down the first one. Best game of the day. We got Villanova and Butler. 141 set by odds makers, and I'm going under. Now, Villanova's beaten Butler since Butler came to the Big East every time they've matched up. The last couple times we've seen some okay games. We had a 60-55 Nova win a couple 2 games back, and then Nova beat them 77-67. Now, the odds maker set the totals on the last 2 games 150.5, where they had that 60-55 really low scoring affair, and then last year they went the last matchup they had 77-67. The odds maker set at 141, exactly the same as what we have today. And they went over that total, but I don't think they get there today. I don't think they get over that total. Butler's been a really good scoring team in the Big East, and we all know how good Villanova is, possible national title contender. And, of course, trying to repeat, though, will be very, very difficult. These two teams can score, but I think the defenses are going to step up today. Right now we got, especially being at Butler, I think Butler's going to really do some good things on the defensive end to try. And look out for Butler, by the way. We'll see what that line. I kind of like Butler in this game. I think they're going to give Villanova a really good ball game here. It's something that's probably going to go down the wire. So see where that line moves with Butler. Okay, let's go ahead and let's look at the total. I digress. All right, we got Villanova right now averaging about 80 points per game. Butler, of course, 78 points per game. They were one of the best scoring teams in the Big East last year. But defensively, this is what I like. Villanova is allowing 62.1 points per game. That ranks 21st in the country. Butler, 64.6. That ranks in the top 40, and they're at home. So, these two teams know each other pretty well now. And you look at their shooting percentages offensively, they're awesome. They're all in like the top 20, top 30 category. But defensively, they're not bad either. You got Butler right now allowing opponents to shoot just 42.4% from the floor and just 30% from distance. That's going to be big against a Villanova team that can really shoot the three. And then we got on the other side of the ball, Villanova, they've been great. They're allowing opponents just like Butler about 42% from the floor. But check this out. From distance, they're allowing just 27.8%. They rank 5th in the country, and that's a Butler team that shoots about 40%. So that's the point of contention tonight, is both these teams can shoot the three, but both teams can defend the three, and I think the defenses are going to step up enough to go ahead and keep us under that 141 in what's going to be an absolutely fantastic matchup. Next one up, we got Rutgers and Michigan State. I got my papers today to go ahead and break these down. Odds makers have it at 128.5, and I'm going under. Check this out. So the last couple times they've matched up, Rutgers is actually a little bit better this year, and Michigan State they're still pretty young. Rutgers should not beat Michigan State at Michigan State for sure, but it might be an okay matchup. 128.5. That looks really low. Check this out. The last couple times they've met, odds makers had it 147.5 and 143.5. They went over both those times, and now odds makers have us at 128.5. That really gets my radar up, and I think they're going to go under. And the reason why is because neither of these teams, Michigan State's kind of on a down year. Neither of them shoot the ball particularly well, but both of them can play a little bit of defense. Let me tell you what I mean. Let me show you what I mean. Rutgers right now, they're averaging 69.1 points per game. That's not very much, but they're allowing just 62.7. That ranks 24th in the country. Michigan State, similar. They're averaging 72 points per game, but they're allowing just 67.8, as we would expect from Tom Izzo to have their team play great defense. Their defensive statistics across the board are are decent, both teams statistically. That's why it's at 128.5. But that's also why I'm going under. Rutgers is not a very good shooting team. They're shooting 42.3% from the floor. That ranks outside the top 200 teams. Michigan State, they're allowing opponents to shoot just 38.8%. That ranks in the top 30. Good defense from Michigan State. But then we look at Rutgers. Look at their defensive percentages. They're awesome, amazing. They're allowing opponents right now to shoot 37.5% from the floor. They rank 12th in the country in opponent shooting percentage. While Michigan State, they're pretty good. I mean, they shoot 47% from the floor, but it still ranks outside the top 50. So I think the way this, we look at the tempo as well. It's something I didn't really talk about with the Villanova Butler game because I just think the defenses are going to shine. Same thing here. But more particularly with this matchup, the tempo is not going to be very fast either. We got Michigan State averaging 55 attempts per game. Rutgers, I believe they go a little bit faster. Yeah, about 59 attempts per game. But still, the defensive percentages are there to stay under that 128.5. It looks low, but it's not. I'm going to back under that total. So those are two unders. Let's get to our over. Two unders and an over. Fresno State and Wyoming. I really like Rodney Terry. I like what he's doing with that Fresno State program. Right now, oddsmakers have it at 149, and I'm going over. Last couple times they've matched up, similar to this Michigan State Rutgers thing, where I'm kind of going opposite of what oddsmakers have had it in the past. Last year, they played to a 79-75 final, which gets us over this total. But the oddsmakers only set the total at 135. This is one of the highest totals they've had in their last several matchups. It might be ever. I'd have to go back and check that. I just looked at like their last several games, and we're talking about an oddsmakers total set for this game. 135, 134, 121, 117. Now they're coming out with 149. And there's a good reason for that, because both these teams can score, and the defenses haven't really been there, and they both have some pretty good tempo. Right now, we got Fresno State averaging 72.6 points per game. That's pretty solid. And Wyoming's allowing 73.7. This game's in Fresno, and I think they're going to get up and down the floor. We look at their shooting percentages. I mean, neither of them are playing great defense. Wyoming's playing percentage-wise a little bit better defense than Fresno, but they both can shoot. You got Fresno State shooting 47.4% from the floor. That ranks in the top 50. And then you got Wyoming, who's not really great overall, but their two-point shooting percentages, they're shooting over 52%. So they can score. And they've shown the ability to do that. So Fresno State hasn't been that great defensively. Wyoming's been okay, but that 149, this is really a numbers play for me, where oddsmakers set a really high total, but I think there's a good reason for it. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to back over the total with this Fresno State Wyoming matchup here. I think it's going to be a really fast one, and both these teams can score. I was really impressed with Fresno State beating Nevada last week. That's a pretty good Nevada squad, but they were able to pull out the win there. I think it was overtime. I have to double check on that, but that was a good matchup. Anyways, this game, sorry, I digress. I like them to get over. I mean, last time they matched up 79-75. I don't see us getting anything different than that with these two teams, even though Marvell Harris is not there anymore for Fresno State. This is going to get up and down. So I'm going to go over the total 149. All right, let's break those down one more time. Villanova, Butler, under 141. Two good scoring teams with two teams that could really play some defense as well. I think that's going to shine. Rutgers, Michigan State under the 128.5, and a numbers play that's similar to the one I'm going to talk about next, in that it looks a little bit too low, but it's not when you look at the percentages. Wyoming and Fresno State over the 149, like I just mentioned, kind of an opposite play where oddsmakers haven't set a total this high, so I believe they're doing it for a good reason. And those are our three NCAA picks. Don't forget to check out our NBA segment. That's going to be live 2 or 3 hours before the first tip of the NBA slate, and I wish you luck on your picks today.
Research before you bet. Be sure to check out SPR Picks for the best game predictions, breakdowns, and much, much more.